Hello. um, and welcome. It's 4:20. So let's get high. All right. First, I want to apologize for the sketchy internet. And I'm happy to report that, who is it? Not Verizon, but Spectrum. Spectrum came and said they fixed it. So let's just jump right in, because this is the 10th and final chapter of Zohar Beyond the Black Hole. My new book, which is going to be released within a month, August 17th. So let's get going, see if we can finish it today. Chapter 10, the future. Now that the true meaning of Zohar has been revealed in the world, what happens next? Like the vaccine, which can cure the sick and prevent illness, Zohar has the capacity to radically change society by exposing the truth. God is the creator of heaven and earth. Not only is God the creator of creation, but God is forever creating and destroying to guide existence with an ethereal hand. For those with eyes open, the text can be read and easily understood, but not for those lured asleep by the menacing, manipulating, man-made academic, religious, scientific institutions. There needs to be a helping hand. God's hand is constantly sweeping across creation, while the human being signs back. Some hold their hands to their heart in prayer, while others clench their fists to fight against God. Throughout the centuries of Jewish history, there has always been an enemy wanting to wipe out the Jews, thus stop God's plan. The Jewish people performing the 613 commandments are as essential to the world as is the wind pushing the spiraled history of the world forward. The Creator has structured creation, allowing freedom of choice to the individual, yet retaining control by tying all endeavors to God's will. No one can divert God's plan for creation, but what human free choice can do is be part of the story by acknowledging the plan and wanting to play a part. God finds great interest in each human story, and God's desire to be known and low is momentarily satisfied by an endless array of unimpressive people to all but God. Truly, no one knows what is pleasing in the eye of the Creator, and therefore great care should be taken for each person. All are precious before God. Children are celebrated coming into this world, but only the rich and powerful are celebrated leaving the world, as if life is a competition and they had won. I was once privileged to be amid a small group of street people who were sporadically gathering in a field where a compatriot was passing away. The air around the man was thick with mystery, and those who gathered were strident in their solemnity. Recognizing an ancient rite of passage was happening before their astounded eyes. Elsewhere, people were dying in antiseptic hospital beds, lashed to the expediency of capitalism to digest whatever is left of an accumulated wealth gathered through a lifetime. God is present in both scenarios. Death is inevitable. But the question is, who will be embarrassed in heaven? The greatness of Zohar is the illuminating simplicity of life. Life ain't that hard. We make it hard. We make life impossible. Even the rich of the richest suffer. There are many natural obstacles in life placed by the Creator for the benefit of human evolution towards a more perfect person. But those obstacles placed by the opposition represent a more difficult situation. Oftentimes, God is called upon by an entire nation to help stem the tide, like the recent racist uprisings. Racists are people who know nothing about God, who think the creator of creation, heaven and earth, is spiritual. Better they were never born. A door in heaven has been opened by Zohar, revealing more than any scientific discovery, more than any ancient artifact or modern theory. Zohar opens a door, changing everything, challenging all accepted norms, an iconoclastic work of pure light. If a disease can suddenly ravage the world, so can the truth. No person is needed. No leader is required because truth is ubiquitously present in each personal journey through life. Life is meant to be a unique experience, not something pre-planned for expediency, benefiting only the wealthy. The question is, where do we go from here? The key to the future is woman. All human beings are composed in different degrees of male and female energy, thus giving the experience of transgender. But only woman is made to give birth, the sign of infinity. Where the other 9 components of the tree of life point, the 10th component, known as Malkut, royalty, turns, as depicted by the 10th celestial body. The sun and the 8 planets all stay within their specified orbits, but Pluto, the 10th celestial body, turns into Neptune's orbit for 20 years out of the 248-year orbit around the sun, last occurring in 1999. Women are emerging in places of power with a different agenda for the world. Many men welcome the change, are in complete support. The world is naturally transitioning from being a male-oriented world to elevating woman above man. The 1,000 years of woman and peace are rushing towards the earth while the world travails prior to the imminent end of the male agenda. Instead, the focus needs to be on the wants of women. When women are happy, men are happy. The earth is pregnant with these final 220 years. Earth is ready to give birth at any moment to a future so new as if someone came down from heaven. Time has come to shed the skin of the serpent, the hiss of religion, the bite of usury, and the venom unleashed by the superpower of ego has controlled the story of humanity. But now, the cat's out of the bag. There is no question. The human being has shown ourselves in every corner of the world to be worthy and good, flowing with compassion and industry. We are all the same, just different aspects contained within the first human being, disseminated throughout the generations, coming to conclusion in our time according to the many signs happening around the globe. By illuminating the structure of creation, Zohar obliterates errant theories meant to emasculate male primacy, weakening the individual for the purpose of a manufactured reality while abandoning uniqueness. But time has run out. The system meant to produce more has stopped. And the time is right to envision a new world, both physically and spiritually, without the intervention of dictum and dogma. Reality is a conglomerate of human experience caught in the web and flow of time, reduced down into a spiral. Every moment in life is a profound honor. Conclusion. What is the truth? The only truth that matters is the clear understanding that God, who is neither physical nor spiritual, created the world and continues sustaining and watching over the earth. This is the genesis of choice. Everything else follows. Zohar comes at the end of the day, at the end of days, to illuminate without any doubt the structure of the universe at a time when technology allows the descriptions found in Zohar to be corroborated by scientific fact. The light Zohar comes from the inside of the black hole, illuminating the end of the 6,000-year cycle when darkness is palpable. Once clearly established in the psyche of man, that God is all the time, everywhere, to everyone, constantly creating creation, then the freedom of choice becomes a dance with God. This singular clarity is the basis for all subsequent choices. All choices are ultimately a choice about God. When God is acknowledged as partner in life, then life transforms into purpose. Even when the thief enters to steal, he first prays to God for success from the same God who forbids stealing. Only by acknowledging the Creator can change happen. The reverberations from this primal acknowledgement inculcate everywhere in every action with the intention of serving the Creator. Each in a unique way, yet with an inclusiveness into the whole, from where we emerged from the black hole. The prophecy of the future maintains everyone will sit beneath their own vine, and teachers will no longer be necessary. When the world acknowledges the reason for creation, fulfilling God's desire to be known and low, then the importance of each person plays in the enactment towards fulfilling God's desire will be recognized and respected. What could be more purposeful than fulfilling God's desire? Science obscures the truth. Religion skews the truth. Everyone else sells the truth. The essential action required is acknowledging the simple, ubiquitous Truth. A world tethered to truth can never go far astray. Through brains and brawn, fueled by the human spirit, the 6,000 years dedicated to the refinement of man, like a book whose story is about to conclude, resolving the disparate plot threads and unanswered questions. Only now can we look back on 6,000 years of human history and make a determination as to what is happening and where we go from here. What is the future of planet Earth and the human species? What does life mean and where is life going? These unanswered questions beg for resolution. Just as Zohar clearly delineates the segmentations of the past, so too does the text give reference to the future and to the scope of creation by explaining the Creator made creation spectacularly vast, as to marvel the eye of man seen from a tiny point meshed within a cloud of stars, peeking out from behind the black pupil of the human eye in wonderment. Every human life on earth begins with the wide open wonderment of the newborn. At first, the child can only see as far as the nipple, but as life expands, so does vision. After 6,000 years, human vision has expanded to the outer reaches of the universe. 14 billion light years and surveyed countless stars, mapping possible planets for life, but nothing has been found, or nor will be found. Another lie perpetrated by people unaware of the Creator. This malicious lie is founded on supposition. If life happened once in one place in the universe, then certainly it must have happened somewhere else according to probability. This basic assumption taught in schools to our children is polluting their young minds along with religious dogma. The scientific, logical premise is incorrect because life didn't just happen. Rather, we are the culmination of God's celestial plan to be known and lo. Now, after all these male suppositions, like a man walking around in the dark, refusing directions, wanting rather to figure it out by casting himself headlong into the mirror of his own ego, scattering into sharp shards throughout the globe until it becomes impossible to walk the earth without getting cut. What now? All of life is but a day upon the earth, where the human being has the capacity to alter creation and thereby change the place of the soul in heaven, having marked creation forever. Those who flippantly reduce life down to money and power are destined to be poor in the next world, naked without a garment to stand before the King of creation, embarrassed before the Creator of heaven and earth. What is worthy before the Creator is love and good deeds, compassion, charity, justice, honesty, humility, modesty. The list is endless, and each person can take their choice which work to love. Heaven is rest after work, but if you don't work, there is no rest ever. This world was made for work. Children are eager to work until they discover work is hard and children are soft. Maturity means work, not money. God created a work in the world for everyone to find and to love. Finding the right work is a holy process, and love is the devotion. A long road that is short because the process is like foreplay before sex. Every part of life is beautiful and important. Every decade of life, starting from 20, is a limb stemming from the tree of life. Each person is here to bear their fruit. 70 years is considered a lifetime, a short amount of time to engrave one's legacy into the firmaments of heaven through the actions upon the earth. Each life drills into the hard rock of physical existence. Some discover a precious stone or living waters on the way to the sea, but each life makes a mark, and each life is important. Through this seminal understanding concerning the rules of life, living a good life will cure the world. Our Mother Earth, preparing humanity for the coming 1,000 years of woman and peace. Religious authority and scientific skepticism will melt and vanish beneath the light Zohar emanating from within the black hole. Without senseless dogma or devotion to theory, the eyes of the world will awake out of the dark pupil of existence. The lowest place in creation will come a spectacular vision, a vision of the future. In the time of the temple before being destroyed by Rome, during the 7-day celebration in the fall called Sukkot, the people would become so happy from drinking wine along with sumptuous meals that the entirety would have prophetic visions extending until the end of the 6,000-year calendar. Belief will end, since believing is the answer to a question which has not been answered. So, in the absence of a salient explanation, an unsubstantiated belief is offered up to the unsuspecting. Religion and science prey on the true seekers, offering themselves up as fodder to the authority who will enslave the mind and harden the heart. Besides institutions, there are bad people in the world interspersed among the nations. Some are God haters, others are angry at the creator because creation does not meet their puny expectations. Lastly, are those who want to stop God's plan. The end of the 6,000-year calendar is referred to in the Talmud as Chevle Meshike, birth pangs. The travail of our times is giving away to beautiful birth, illuminated by light of Zohar. Everyone in the world will be affected. Trees will sing along with the birds. The ground will speak, saying, "Don't tread on me unless you are walking with God." Those dead and buried will grow new bodies, impervious to disease or pain, living for 1,000 years. Lastly, the third temple would descend from the heavens, built from the indestructible to be the beating heart of the world. The earth pulses every 26 seconds. The earth appears to orbit the North Star every 26,000 years. And the earth is 26,000 light years from the center of our galaxy, where the black hole is responsible for the birth of the stars, channeling an interior light caused by a perturbation engraved from a desire depicted in the name of God as Yud-He Vav-He with a gematria of 26. The human body, when reduced to bone, at peace and covered in the dirt, takes on the vertical form of the Yud-He Vav-He, seeding Mother Earth with the eventual higher human being uniquely etched with lifetimes of experience. Until the facts of science and myth and the myth of religion met Zohar, the circuit between heaven and earth remained broken. But once the expanse of the universe is clearly corroborated by scientific inquiry, the light of Zohar introduces clarity. bringing the world into illumination through this arcane knowledge. The unveiling of Zohar is light upon our world. The tree of life is taking hold inside the ground and sprouting, growing and ripening, beginning the new millennium in 220 years, the 1,000 years of peace. This last piece, I won't read the Hebrew, and I've put in at places a slight explanation. But okay, this is, well, I'll explain itself, but Adam, Cain, and the seven and the seven lambs. For those yet unconvinced, I present this segment from the Zohar Kodesh, also composed 2,000 years ago by Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. This segment from the Zohar Kodesh has never been translated into English. Life in heaven consists of entities, angels, and human souls. Animals derive from angels. Entities stem from the first man's relationship with Lilith. Human souls are the highest level of life, but when invested in a human body, the human being becomes the lowest level. So God can be known and low. The tree of life is portrayed in the configuration of the cosmos, the patterning of the earth and the three triangles comprising the human form. As above, so below. From the original crude human structure was taken the form of man, woman, clothed in fire to be tested in the cauldron of free choice, and being found lacking, were forced to leave. The ethereal journey from the Garden of Eden took two paths. After 130 years, Adam came directly to earth, where 10 generations later, Noah was born 1,000 years later. The descendants of Cain had another path, taking them through 7 lands, but seemingly never settled on the earth, rather made war from heaven. As recorded in the book Zohar Kodesh. Here we go. Maimer Adam Cain V'Sheva Artzos. Adam Cain and the 7 lands. The structure of world in 7 surrounding orbits. These 7 lands are one above another. Similarly, the 7 heavens are one above another, and these are Eretz, Pluto, Adama, Neptune, Arca, Uranus, Gaia, Saturn, Nosea, Jupiter, Sia, Mars, and Tevel, Earth. Highest of them all is Tevel. It is written, God judges Tevel with righteousness. When Adam left the Garden of Eden, pushed out from there by the angels, who feared the man might eat from the tree of life and therefore live forever, I will lift him to a place called Eretz, Pluto, a place of darkness. There is no light there at all because the sun does not reach there. When Adam arrived in Eretz, Pluto, he was terrified from the flickering sword that guarded the Garden of Eden, flashing erratically everywhere upon Eretz, Pluto. Astronomers know this flickering sword as the Kuiper belt, where Pluto is embedded in darkness, accompanied by flashes of light from the erratic movement of chaos. Man was created the afternoon of the 6th day of creation, when the seventh day, the day of rest, arrived, sunset of the 6th day, light permeated the 24 hours, but when the Shabbat ended, man had to meet the darkness. Repentance went up in the heart of man. So the Creator lifted him to a place called Adama, Neptune. As the Torah writes, Adonai Elohim has sent you from the Garden of Eden to work Adama, Neptune. Their illumination appears as planets and stars. In Adama, Neptune, the light from the sun is so far away it looks like a star. And there, on Adama, Neptune, the substance of this supernal human being began to take on form. Strong ones produced from the first man during the 130 years on Adama with Lilith. There he served the spirit of feminine. The product of their intercourse gave birth to depressed entities who were never happy. They flit about until they come to this world where they turn bad and return from where they came. Dwell in their place, there in Adamo, Neptune. And here plant and here plant producing seeds, and they eat. They should be there. And there plant producing seeds, and they eat, but not wheat, nor one from the 7 species of fruit. In this place, Adam, Neptune, Cain, and Hevel were born. After Cain killed his brother Hevel, God transported him back to the place called Eretz Pluto. As the Torah writes, they, the angels, pushed me away this day from the face of Adama. That place is called Adama Neptune. There I will wander about in Eretz Pluto to where Adam was rejected and distanced from the Garden of Eden. And all who find me will kill me while the shimmering swords are turning, preventing return to the Garden of Eden. Because he was afraid, Cain thought to repent, his actions having killed his brother Hevel. God transported him to the 3rd world called Arca, Uranus. There in Arca, Cain birthed children. In Arca, Uranus is the first world where the rays of the sun envelop this world. There are seeds seeding seeds, producing plants, and seeds producing trees. But neither wheat nor the 7 fruits from the land of Israel are produced. All beings from Arca, Uranus, are born from Cain. His offspring have 2 heads, one large and one small, causing a progeny of highly powerful and weakly motivated. They lack complete knowing like the rest of humankind, souls there on Arca. And they live and die like the rest of humankind. Adam was on Adama, Neptune, until he fathered Shesh, from where he went up 4 levels from Cain, who was on Arca. He elevated to the place called Tevel, earth. Since Adam elevated, he went to the place of the temple where he had been made, then extracted from his original and dwelt is called by Eretz, land, Adama, soil. Adam skipped 3 places: Gaia, Saturn, Nicaea, Jupiter, and Sia, Mars. Gaia, Saturn, is a large place, as wide and deep as the repository where souls traverse life and death, called Gehenna, valley between. In Gaia, Saturn, Nicaea, Jupiter, Sia, Mars, those who built the Tower of Babel spread out to Gaia, Saturn, Nicaea, Jupiter, and Sia, Mars. They're giving birth to children. Since the people of the Tower of Babel angered the High King, who is separate from creation, opposite their war was the fiery flame burning up the top of the Tower of Babel. There are people, each one wealthy with riches and gold dust, precious stones, who goes up there from here, from Tevel. The preciousness of the wealth will be given to him, but at times he will descend to a place called Nicaea. in order to forget. Descending to Gaia knows not from where he came. Gaia, Saturn, is the center between high and low, and therefore called Gai Bane Hinnom, valley between them. The world of the three upper worlds, Teva, Sia, and Teva, Tavel Earth, Sia, Mars, and Nosea, Jupiter, and the three lower worlds, Eretz, Pluto, Odama, Neptune, and Arca, Uranus, is Gaia, Saturn. The one strand goes out towards Tavel and is called Gebain Hinnom, valley between them, the opening to Gehenna, where the souls go prior to heaven. It is there. The people of Gaia Saturn all know witchcraft and wisdoms. There are seeds and trees there, but no wheat, none of the 7 fruits from the land of Israel. On Nosea, Jupiter, there are squat people lacking noses, like just two holes in their face to breathe. Whatever they do, they immediately forget. That is why their world is called Nosea, forget in Aramaic. Trees are produced along with wheat, but not the 7 kinds of fruit from Israel. Sia, dry, like the name, the Sia, Mars, Sia, Mars, dry, Sia, the word means dry, like the name. This world is completely barren. The people there are beautiful to the eye. Within Sia, dry, they know where running water is sourced. They arise there. Sometimes they go up through the water to Tavel. They are skilled beyond other men. Life is good and they have much wealth. Their seed is few because of the dryness there, and trees are not successful. There is great envy for these people when they are in Tavel, earth. In all 7 worlds, there is no one who eats bread. Means they cannot speak, except in the world Tavel, earth. The highest of all these 7 worlds is Tavel, earth, as the Torah writes. In Tavel, earth, there is justice, freedom of choice. The form of these 7 worlds is replicated on Tavel, earth. Each of the 7 land masses is called by the name of the appropriate world. As above, so below. In each of these 7 worlds, the human being exists. Each world is unique and diverse, as the Torah writes. What multitude of work, God. That's the end of my book. Thank you for listening. I do hope you enjoy. I see there's a lot of comments here. So, and I see my computer's about to turn off. So I'm just going to see if I can answer any of these. My goodness. Well, Richard asked, why is racism in religion? And there's no racism in Torah. There's no racism in Islam or really anywhere else. It really all comes from the Catholic Church, who teaches until today, one of their dogmas is that Black people are cursed to be slaves. And they tried to take this from the Torah, but it's just, it's not there. Is speaking against racism. It's speaking against, I don't know what that means. No, there's not religion. I mean, only the Catholics, they're the ones who created religion. There's no religion and no word for religion in any other language. Let me just get this closer to me. I have not seen this. I'm sorry. We are created in, says his image. God is not a his. I'm not sure you are confused. I'm not sure you confusing religion with culture. Now, I know what religion is, man. Are you confusing religion? No, religion has nothing to do with culture. Culture just shapes religion. Probably true. I disagree with that. Men change religion, change the message. The message never changes. All right. Look, you can read this. Yes. There is no racism in the Torah. There is no racism in the Quran. And it's true, the Torah cannot be changed, not one letter, nor the Quran. The first man to make the culture was a dark skin, so what? That is culture. I'm speaking. Anyways, these guys are having their own conversation, and nothing seems to really be towards me. But I'm glad that it's invoking such a conversation. That's very good, because the whole purpose of what I do in my writings is everything is to put new knowledge into the world so that people actually have something to talk about. So thank you for doing that. And anyways, so that's the last show for this week. You can do 420 on your own. God willing, see you on Monday. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this. Bye. Oh, don't forget to go to my site, dovidhouse.com.